No topic left untouched. Much respect.
It's your boy Scoonie, used to get high as coolie. Now I spit moody, make beats that super groovy. See, Willin' that sticky, told me Spoon is no biggie. So I sample Biggie, grab a drink and got tipsy. Rock with me for a
Welcome to No Topic Left Untouched. It's your boy DJ Echo.
You know what I'm saying? It's that articulate one.
Sage.
What up, though?
How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's safe, COVID free, and living and prospering and doing what you do. Hope you're enjoying everything that's been going on. We like to say it right up in the beginning. We hope you like. If you do like, man, please hit the like, subscribe, share the content with a friend, your neighbor, as well as what? Feedback? That's what we're looking for.
Let's get some feedback.
And some feedback.
For sure.
But getting right into it, topic tonight, you know what I'm saying? Just a curious one. I'm curious. What we're going to talk about tonight is should we arm up or is it too late? Now, excuse me. I'm asking that question because of I know everybody's been paying attention to what's going on in the country right now, right? You know, back east, Midwest, the young man kills the high school students, and you know, what happened prior to that and everything. We have to become aware. And me just starting right off the jump, I'll tell you straight up what I will say in that question, to answer that question from my perspective, is I'm with being armed. Because the bottom line is, with everything going on in this country right now, the shootings, etc., anything can happen. And let's not forget what transpired prior to COVID, what transpired when the presidency situation happened.
Oh, you're talking about the resurrection.
Correct. Do
January
not
6th.
do not
Insurrection. Sorry.
don't think just because people are quiet about it and they're not saying anything that, like, you know what I'm saying, like there's still no possibility. Like, I will never forget when I heard that man come on there on that page and said that we're coming and we're ready. I just remember how he said it. So okay, fine, no problem. I'm not gonna live my life, you know, in fear or anything like that, but I am going to be prepared. My family's gonna be prepared. We're all gonna be prepared for anything. Not to say that's why we're gonna own weapons. That's not why I own a weapon. I own a weapon is because, one, that's my constitutional right, and this is why I choose to. But I think that we need to not fall asleep to the enemies or the potential enemies in your community or in your neighborhood, because we all have broadened. We don't stay up in the hood, none of us. So we're out in a different area where there's different nationalities, different areas that we could stay right next door to a rapist or a child, you know, one of those individuals, the sick minded people like that. We know that. You got apps on your phone where you can find that right now. And you could be standing right next to a child predator for 15 years and never knew it. You feel me? So with that being said, I feel that we should arm up today. It's more important and more imperative. You know, COVID has brought job loss, among other things. We are in one of those times where it's better to be protected than not.
So what if you're one of the people who gets a gun, and then you're one of the people that you're talking about? Now we're arming up. Who? You know, we're arming up people who may be out of work, under stress, and already on edge. I wonder if it's too late to arm up. I don't know. I think you should arm up. I think that everybody should arm up. I think that everybody should make individual choices, and maybe if you're mentally unstable, maybe you should not arm up. Maybe if you have, if you're stressed by life easily, if you have, other triggers or whatever it is in your life, maybe you should not arm up. But what are we protecting ourselves from, and what are from my position? I think like this: everybody has to make their own choices. So I think that I should arm up for the inevitable thing that may or may not ever happen. I hope that it never happens, but I'm preparing for it to happen. So something like, if the Constitution says, or one of our government documents says, if the government kicks in your door, you have the right to bear arms. If your government is moving in the wrong direction and they kick in your door, you have the right to defend your property, even still, against the government kicking in your door. So that would sound like to me, if, depending on how you vote, and I'm not even going to get into the whole voting thing, but depending on how you vote, I think we could see what's happening with gun rights right now. They're most definitely under threat. So if we're gonna arm up, then we have to move in a way that allows us to do so, because that is obviously not a given thing.
I'm just gonna be straightforward, man. For me, I feel like it's just too late. Like, the way I see it, it's years upon years of gun collecting for most other communities, and in the gun collecting that we have, I don't know if it's used for the proper way that it's supposed to be used. Like, if we out there doing target practice, then that's one thing, but I think our target practice is mostly against us. So I just feel like the mentality of owning a gun itself makes it to where it's one of those things. Like, I don't own a gun, and I'm not saying that I wouldn't own a gun. I'm just saying that I don't necessarily know right now if it's something that I need, and I might absolutely need it, but I'm 42 years in this world and I haven't had to pull a pistol yet. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't had a pistol pulled on me either. You know what I'm saying? So, am I naive for not living my life as someone who is a gun toter? I do believe in my amendments. I do believe in my rights. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that if I should have the choice to go get one, if it's out there for me to get, that I hope never gets taken away, like what you were just saying. But for me, I just don't know. Like you was just saying, the mental capacity of these people, like Kyle Rittenhouse. This kid is 16 or 17 years old at the time. He's got an AR-15. We'll forget the fact that he was across state line. Whatever. We'll leave that alone. But he's there to help protect, according to him, establishments. This ain't even his establishment.
It's his folks' establishment, though. That's a whole nother conversation we should probably...
Right, that's a whole nother conversation. But I kind of...
I'm just saying, like, people need... I mean, maybe some of us need guns, and then we can figure out how to make sure that we get protection away from, there. Sure, fine,
anyway,
fine, whatever. I'm just saying that, it's certain things. Even if we don't take Kyle Rittenhouse, like you just said, the young man that parents are now on defense for him having a gun.
It's not the gun's fault, though.
It's not the guns.
Never said it was. I'm just saying that it's not something that mentally, so maybe some people should have.
But see, that's I kind of...
I would agree with that.
Well, yeah.
Some people don't have the mental capacity to be able to own
absolutely.
a gun. And supposedly a high number of suicides are committed by the people who own their own gun legally. So you have the option in the house to finish it at any given moment. And for some people, that feeling can become overwhelming. You can get too many drugs, too many uppers, too many downers, and maybe you weren't mentally stable to begin with, and now you're in a really bad way. And now the power to end it is right there in the drawer, right there wherever you got it.
Well,
But if you didn't have a gun, to take up his argument, if you didn't have that gun in the house, this is no longer an option. You'd have to find some other way, and maybe you can sober up or come out of this moment where now you don't care.
Well, you shouldn't be trying to get a weapon anyway if you have mental issues or things of that nature.
Man, your mental
But
issue
how many
will drive you
people-
to get a gun.
But-
How many people don't have a mental issue in
But look,
some measure?
It's
One
never
measure
too
is
late,
much.
in my opinion. I disagree with you in that. So what they got? We have people who are gun collectors within our community just as well as they are.
I agree.
You know what I'm
With
saying?
mental issues just like them.
None of that matters. But as far as the mental health, because I kind of hear that situation, boiling a little bit. All right, I have a concealed weapons permit. There's something I had to go through. No, I didn't have to go through no psychology. I didn't have to go through any of those type of things. You understand what I'm saying? But I did have to go through some tests to receive it. Okay. There's no way of knowing if a person has mental issues, right? Unless their family admits it or they admit it. So because there's no way of that, the rest of the community shouldn't get weapons.
Once again, like I said, I believe in my right to. I should absolutely, as an American citizen, be able to go get it. I just don't know if it's for everybody. I just don't know if.
I don't believe guns is for everybody. We know guns are for everybody.
I'm just saying.
Murder.
So like arm up. When I think of arm up, should we arm up? Like I think of people getting together to police their community. I think of there's a certain group that is walking my community. I don't even need a gun. You know what I'm saying?
But it's your duty to be one of those people on duty.
If we all don't have to be, that is my point.
At some point, you have to be.
You should if it's your property. So if you own some land right now.
No, there's a way to play a role in the community without having to be the ones that is a police. There's somebody that is in here growing vegetables. So they gotta have a gun.
So you can name one person who lived during the era of cowboys, gunslingers who never carried a pistol.
I don't think I can.
You probably won't be able to look it up, right? Because they had to, right?
I'm just saying, we don't live in that time, though. We don't live in a time where I walk in a saloon and somebody's gonna shoot you right in the...
I think that it's a form of like nationalism to where everybody should have to pick up the duty. I think that at this point, I know it's going to be a not so popular opinion, but I do think that once you turn 18 years old in America, some of the rights, some of the pride, some of the things that come along with it, some of the things that could join gay and straight and black and white and every other class all together, is a certain level of nationalism that comes along with having to serve a minimum years or a minimum amount of time when you turn 18 in our services. Does that mean that you have to fight every single war? No, but you should be able to march, clean a gun, disassemble, reassemble, patch your fellow soldier, patch yourself. There should be certain things that come in with if you do 18 months to 2 years worth of military service, there's no wars going on, then you just get in and you get out and you did your thing. And that's going to be the majority of the time. And once you get out, when you see a foreigner, there will be a bond with Americans because we all know that in order to be American, you have to serve the thing.
Let me try to understand what you're saying. So you're trying to say, in a situation where the community is being policed by us, you should serve said time within the community policing at some point in your life?
If we compare serving in the military for a minimum of 18 months to 2 years, and for the country, I think being a part of the neighborhood watch for a certain day of the week is not too much to ask. Or if we can rotate out so that eventually every man has a duty to watch his neighborhood, because you live here too. So why is that some other man's duty to watch your house? How about you pitch in and watch in these houses at least a little bit? And if we all share the load, it makes it lighter for all of us.
I mean, that's what made the Panthers so powerful in that time, in that era, to where, other organizations after them tried to continue somewhat of a similar program. Of course, it didn't last, or it didn't end up in that direction. But that's what they were doing. They recognized that. They understood that. You know, and it's unfortunate today because of added laws and things of that nature. We don't do that. We feel we shouldn't have to accept it, which I get, okay, but you know,
freedom isn't free. And if you want this ideal community to be protected by itself, you know, by its citizens, then there's a cost to that. You know, there's a toll that comes with that because violence may or may not come. And when BS happens in your neighborhood, you may have been there, eyewitness, and now you can point them out. And now snitching is not even a thing anymore because in this community, when you do that bullshit, we're reporting the crime.
Yeah.
So if you want to do the crime,
I don't have to be a gun toter to do that though.
But you need to be able to serve and protect.
You
within
really
the
think
community.
you really think you can go up in there and change some streets? And in that honesty that you're talking
I'm
about,
telling you, a personal individual does not necessarily have to have a gun
okay.
to go and help with this community. Now, there could be certain people in the community that have guns that are willing to step up and protect the community. You absolutely, we should have, and I applaud you. But there's other ways that I can contribute. Like I said, I could be the person that grows the vegetables. I could be the person that does the carpentry. I could be whatever the case may be. Protect me. We are a community. What's the problem with that? I don't understand.
So then at what point do you protect me? Or do you just get to be the farmer? And it's my job to risk my life for your property. Or are you a part of this community the way I am, and it's up to you to risk your shit the way I gotta risk my neck?
Don't you watch Night of the Living Dead or what? What is it called?
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
What did they have to do? Even if you didn't, right?
That's my point. Everybody in that community didn't have to fucking.
They didn't have to, but they end up doing it.
At some point,
Right.
Pharaoh was training little kids on how to work a knife. Guess what?
Period.
At some point, you might need to protect
You're
yourself
gonna
or
have
somebody
to.
standing next to you who's a part of this community. And we also learned in that show that not every human is your friend.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So at some point, I'm kind of protecting against not only the bad guys that are obvious, but the bad guys that I don't see. You know, that are not the humans, the ones that I can't see right away. So that means that in a heated moment where me and the enemy are in the room by themselves, I need to be trained up enough at least to have a chance to get out of this room. Because I contribute a lot to my community. And you ain't finna take our numbers down.
Right. We have to be able to, I mean, like I said, what they gave us a blueprint. You know what I'm saying? On
Why
what
your
we
life
do.
get to be safer and we a part of the same community?
You know, and if we continue, I personally think if that had continued over the generations, there wouldn't have been Crips, there wouldn't have been Bloods,
Or maybe
there
there
wouldn't
would have.
Like
But their motivation would be protecting the hood.
like I don't know what it would have been like in other places like Chicago. I know they had a Black Panther party. I know, you know, I think that's Brother Wilson, Fred Wilson. Is that his name? I can't remember. Lord forgive me. Y'all probably know what I'm talking about. It's a brother from Chicago. They did the brother who just did the movie about him, and got the award.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
But he plays his character, and I cannot remember his name right now. I can't believe it.
The
But
Messiah.
the Black Messiah. He's playing that man's character in Chicago, and he was a Black Panther who was willing to stand up to the gang members. If you watch the movie or whatever, and get that whatever, or, you know what I'm saying, that basis about him, you will see that these were probably the only individuals that we knew successfully who can go and would go up against these individuals and be like, no, we need to save our people. I'm willing to do this for. We don't have anything like that today. Everybody's tails is between their legs. Then you have
We're
some
all
brothers.
selfish.
There's some brothers out there that's why I like watching certain individuals who were involved into the gangs and things like that. Mr. Rock, Joe
Fred
Rockhead.
Hampton.
Yeah, Fred Hampton, that's his name. Mr. Joe Rockhead, God rest his soul. But Joe Rockhead and Melly Mel's, a couple other people who, this son right here in the valley as well, Hen, that were involved or know of, but are coming back to give back to the community. You know what I'm saying? But we don't have those individuals who are willing to stand up in front of no cop And like this is going to stop. You are not going to put another knee.
Not with a phone in your face like this.
Right.
Not waiting for the news. But just in a moment to where, yo, today,
Okay.
bro, are y'all hemming up the 11-year-old boy? He stopped already. He's screaming for his mama. You already took his shoulder out.
Right.
You think they?
Yo,
do you think
I
they
know
will
that I
continue?
shouldn't impede on cop behaviors, but I'm about to step in between y'all right now.
Do you think that would have
And
continued?
then you're gonna be like, I'm gonna shoot you. And then that person on training day shit where all these people gonna collect. Oh, and eventually it's just too many, bro.
If Bobby Seale and all of them were still alive today, the way they drive it and their temperature work, do you think that knee would still be up in that man's neck?
If everybody was standing around with their phone, would have been like, I'm just about to just non-violently step in between y'all.
We learned from that
I'm not
era.
about to swing, officer, but I am about to try to walk in between you two.
We learned
And
that
all these
there's some
people start
that's gonna
collecting
do it.
with that mentality. That mob mentality can be a positive thing if you use that energy correct. I think, not all the time do we turn into wolves.
Yeah.
Sometimes we
Right.
can stop some BS. You know what I'm saying? So
A lot of people is like afraid of going against the police. They don't want to see a jail cell.
I think that if you had to work 3 hours a day and 3 hours a day and 3 hours a day, there goes the majority of the day. Another 3 men cover the other. And then the next day, if you took the morning, the afternoon, the night, and then the next we rotate that, and the next we rotate that, and the next. And the more the community grows, the more we stretch this out. So eventually, I do this once a month. And this is just my time to be out there, wifey. Hopefully nothing happens. I'll see you in a few hours.
All right.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying?
Nothing wrong with it, man. Nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying there's got to be ways to make things happen so we can all live collectively. I'm just not. I'm a non-violent person. Like Dr. Martin Luther
Boy,
King
you almost
is.
said something.
Dr. Martin Luther King was one of my people I looked up to, highly, and he would be holding hands, getting beat up on, and I ain't see no guns, bro. I didn't see no guns for him to make no changes. And I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that's not the times that we living in right now. I'm just saying, like,
I'm talking
there's
about
ways-
policing the neighborhood. I'm not talking about
there's-
inspiring people.
but once again, we're talking about police in the neighborhood. There's people that can police the neighborhood. Everybody
Police.
don't have to
Police.
police the
The
neighborhood.
police the neighborhood. But if you want to police your own neighborhood, then that means that you have to police your own neighborhood.
I hear you. I
Not
don't think
he
so.
policed your
I'll
neighborhood.
respectfully disagree with you, but yeah, I hear you for sure.
Absolutely, man. I mean, and that's all right. Everybody ain't gonna agree on the topic, or that's why this is our conversation. That's why it's 3 of us. You know what I'm saying? Or 2, it don't matter. Everybody is not gonna be same.
I agree.
You know,
That's-
but the same-
it's a good point in having these opinions and these talks.
Right.
You never know what somebody's thinking. You never know how somebody feels until they communicate. So,
One thing that I think we really strive on, man, is we want to be able to come together and have real conversations and be able to disagree without me cussing you out, me disrespecting you, me, taking it to a level of
Or don't
trying
even
to-
be offended. That's
you
a
know.
grown A man with his own skin, his own life, and if you don't agree, then what you really gotta say?
It's just the biggest thing, like I'm saying, which agrees with that. I'm not.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the folks out there. Like, can we learn how to argue, basically?
Oh yeah, without me calling you all out, disrespecting who you are as an
Be a
individual.
disciplined car. That way, when you really get mad, you're gonna have to bring them hands. Otherwise, learn how to talk.
But we
Learn
have
how
to.
argue.
But I just think this, and and I'm pretty much can conclude it at this point for me. I mean, unless you guys want to add on something, I want to keep going, but it's like this, man. The Second Amendment protects the rights to keep and bear arms. You know what I'm saying? It's been in place since December 15th, 1791. Some people may argue with it and say, hey, we wasn't included in that, or, man, ain't there a certain amendment that says we are included?
Yeah, it's the the amendments. Can you go down to the gun store and do it today with no felony? I can't.
Bottom
I'm
line.
just saying.
So my
So
point
let's
is,
stop with all that right there.
no, what I'm trying to tell you is that you can. That's what I mean.
Absolutely.
Everybody acting like they scared of amendments and all that. You better not be scared of that stuff.
learn.
I'm
You know what I'm
saying,
saying? You better know about
if
that.
you're one of them
and
black
stuff.
folks who think that because of the 13th Amendment it didn't include me, let's assume you're right. Can you go and do the work and go and get a legal gun?
That's just the most ignorant. Bottom line, you are a citizen.
You can go and do it.
My birth certificate has a United States city and a state. You know what I'm saying? And a hospital. So that defines me.
And color.
Yes. I'm born in the United States of America, so that ends all that up. You know, so we got to get off that page.
That's what it's
We got to get off that page, man. We have to, get to that point of. I really think
Amen,
it's important. You never know what's gonna happen, bro. You never know. Think about. Have you been paying attention to what's been going on in the city, just Vegas alone? Y'all saw the video where the dude just walked up to the people's house.
Oh, it's going crazy.
And told them, and this was here, that
What happened?
Maid's been stabbed in the
man, he was gonna he wanted to kill the lady. Straight up told him. It's all on the camera. This is in the city. People are, you don't know what you dealing with. So why perpetrate? People walking up in people's
That's the
garages.
reason why to arm up right there.
I will say this: even if you don't arm up, you better learn how to shoot. You definitely better know how to handle a gun. At least know something about the weapon itself. You know what I'm saying? Because to be honest with you, the first time I got a gun in my hand and shot it, the power just. I was like, whoa, this is a bit much. You know what I'm saying?
How that happened?
And then the second time I was now more comfortable with it, and then you know what I'm saying, it's not such a scary thing, you know what I'm saying? But definitely having that knowledge, I would agree with you on that part, would be significant.
You gotta have the knowledge, and I agree because I was with you when you did that, man. And that was I wish I could have filmed that. That was something.
You can get comfortable with your own though. I mean, you can take it apart, piece it together, and know when it's not loaded, and know all of the small details about it. And now, when you carry it with you, the nervousness goes away.
Yeah. Anything dangerous. I mean, anything. It's just like with knives. You know,
You can have a
we may
fucking
have a
snake
knife
and you
today
know
and get a
it's
knife and be ooh, but back in the day, you get a knife and be looking at it
But
like.
now you can flip the twirling wood
You
without
know.
scratching, cutting the crap out of yourself.
Just got to get the practice, but I
Yeah,
think we just
respect.
need to take on all the rights and just become educated. Hey, if there's something that you can't handle,
See, we don't agree, but think from every angle for yourself.
this is what I will say. If you can't handle it, at least be honest with yourself and say, you know what, that's something that I'm not willing to deal with. I don't like or whatever. Hey, that's between you. That's your opinion. But at least we need more of that than individuals perpetrating and getting behind the trigger and.
Or
America.
just buying one and putting it in the drawer, and then when anything happens,
No, don't put it in the drawer.
You're just
Put it in
out
the
here
safe.
untrained, and you are able to buy a gun, but you don't get the training. You don't understand what you got in the house. You don't really.
Weapons should be in safes.
This is not something to bring out at the dinner party. Like, you really understand it. Really understand. Look at it from all angles and make decisions for yourself. I don't care whether you agree with me or not. Think.
Get out the movies and stuff. All that stuff.
Get out the movies. They don't sound like that, by the way. Good grief. Go to the range.
But I don't know, man.
Hey man, it's always good, man. It's always good talking to y'all. Even if sometimes it's short, like it's short to the point, you know what I'm saying? Like you're just trying to get that thing out, right? Like you're just trying to get that thought out into the world and, on the line and let them people do whatever they're gonna do with it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. So we'll holler at y'all, man. Hit the likes, subscribe, and we'll see you at another time in another place. Be
Word.
easy. Peace.
The 15th.